All right. Good afternoon. Good evening. My name is Charlie Rankin, and welcome to the FloridaFundraiser.com webinar on Fundraising 101. If you're looking to join us, look at the link at the bottom of the screen. You can join us online right now by going to FloridaFundraiser.com/live. You can register for the webinar right now. It's free. It's at no cost. We'd love to have you join us. Now, my name's Charlie. I'm in St. Augustine, Florida. This is our home teaching room where my wife Courtney teaches first grade for Florida Virtual School. Now, here in St. Augustine, I was a band director from 2002 until 2015. I taught middle school through college band. I taught at Orange Park Junior High, at Pacetti Bay Middle School, and also at the University of North Florida, where I was involved in the band programs in all three of those schools. Way back then, I was Teacher of the Year a couple times and just was having a great time leading and teaching band. Over time, I did decide to step away from music education. There was something about my personality and the way that I was trying to lead my band. I ended up just taking on too much and really just kind of burnt out is a phrase that I've used and decided to step away from music education. I didn't have some of the support that I needed for any number of reasons. We had 330 kids in the band at that time. I did not have a planning period during those last 8 years of teaching. And we also had twins, and then we had our third child, and all those things compounded, and I decided to leave teaching. But since that time, I've been working to help develop solutions for music educators. I can also help other teachers too, but I do find that helping music educators is really my favorite thing in the world to do. While we're getting started at the top of the call and the top of the webinar, if you ever want to reach out to me, you can use my email address, and you can reach me at charlie@floridafundraiser.com. And you can also text me or call me at 904-655-2089. And if you're just hopping on, the URL at the bottom of the screen is where we are doing the webinar right now. So go ahead and hop on and register. Okay. Now, what do I do in fundraising? Well, I'm going to get into that, and we're going to share a lot about fundraising. We're going to go over some of the things that I learned as a teacher. We're going to go over some of the things that I'm doing to help teachers, and we're going to try to have you finish up tonight with a really great understanding of what it takes to have a killer fundraiser. To get started, I don't know how many folks are really here or not. If you are on the live stream and you have a comment box on whatever platform you're on, could you go ahead and let us know where you are? Let us know your name. Let us know what city you're in. Maybe let us know if you're a band director or if you're a band parent, or maybe you're an undergraduate music education student. Maybe you are a band member. I'm not sure how you might have found this webinar. If you've worked with me, let us know that. If you have not, that's okay too. But give us a little shout out in the comments so that we could know where you're from. That would be awesome. And as those come in, we will put those up here on the screen as they come in. Great. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to share my screen on another computer here, and let me get that all set up. All right. Almost there. And here we go. Okay. Now, what I've been developing over the past 10 years is this handbook of solutions for music educators. And again, these aren't just for music educators. These solutions do apply to any person that needs a fundraiser, but just understand that I tend to focus on the music educators because that's the language I speak and my background. The two solutions that we focus on primarily. Oh, hey, Jessica, thanks for hopping in. Glad you're here with us in the live stream tonight. The two areas that I primarily help with are fundraising And about 24 months ago, almost 36 months ago, I started helping with apparel. And I hope to be able to take these things that you often carry as band parents, which becomes a burden, and I want to take them, carry them for you, and make your plate lighter, make your experience a little lighter. Now, a phrase that I like to use a lot of time is we want you to raise more money in less time. One of the things that I believe is the true currency that we live in is not the currency of money, but we live in the currency of time. And every time you say yes to something, you're having to say no to a million other things that you could be doing. If you're having to count money at the concession stand, you're probably skipping dinner that night with your family. If you're having to sort out cookie dough in the band room, you're probably having to skip your daughter's dance rehearsal because you had to be in the band room. If the band director says yes to X, Y, and Z, they're not able to go home or go to the gym or go do something else that they need to do. So if we can help a teacher raise more money in less time, then I feel like that is a job well done. I've often said 1 hour for a music educator is the equivalent of 5 hours for a regular human being. Now, the reason I started with this slide, this is going to show you Crestview High School band in the screenshot on the phone here. Crestview High School is in Okaloosa County. They're known as the Big Red Machine. Before I had the chance to work with them, they were doing a cookie dough sale, and they were bringing in $20,000 in cookie dough. Now, if you've done a cookie dough sale, you make about 40% profit when you do a cookie dough sale. So 40% of $20,000 is $8,000 in profit. That's a really solid cookie dough campaign. We showed Mr. Dunn and we showed the band parents how to use a platform called InstaRaise. And I showed them a few other techniques that I'm going to show you tonight. And we took their $8,000 profit check. And the very next year, that profit check was $33,850. So they went up 324% in 1 year. And that was something that we were really excited about. We kept the exact same cookie dough. We just moved their cookie dough from paper to the InstaRaise platform. And we also added donations so that donors out of town didn't have to get cookie dough. They could just give a donation. And that was very exciting. Now, the next slide, these are my top 10 campuses in the state of Florida. Now, these campuses are over the past 4 years. Melbourne High School, we have formerly Josh Sal is there. Right now we have Danny and Sonny are the band directors. Michelle Egan, my friend, is the orchestra director, and Natalie Taylor is the chorus director. We've helped that department as a group, and they are doing a great job. All 3 teachers in the department are using the platform. They're sharing a flat rate price, so they're not paying a percentage. They don't pay a percentage of what they raise. They have a flat rate price that they share as a department, and they keep 100% of what they raise minus that flat rate price. Now, Bridgewater Middle School, same thing. We worked with the band, the chorus, the orchestra, the guitar, the theater, so many of the arts electives, and they're doing $60,000 and $70,000 a year. They don't pay a percentage of what they pay. They pay a flat rate, and they use our software for a full year. Sickles Wall of Sound. This was Heather and Keith in Hillsborough County. This is 2 campaigns, $66,000, $65,000. They don't pay a percentage. They did a flat rate program with us, and they kept 100% minus their flat rate. You can see a few other groups here, a lot of them throughout the state of Florida. And if you're listening and you're outside of the state of Florida, I can help you, or I have colleagues that might live near you that can help you if you are not in Florida. All right. Now, here's where we get into some of the things I'm doing that some other fundraising companies aren't doing. So I'm going to share with you right now some of my process. And you're going to hear me talk about my process a little bit tonight. And I'm going to talk about my process a lot more than I talk about my products. And what you're going to hear me say is we want to focus on the fundraising process and not focus on the fundraising product, not because the products are bad, but it's because the products aren't the problem. And I'll tell you the problem in just a few minutes, but the products aren't the problem. So when it's time to fundraise, we want you to start with why. We don't start with what are we going to sell. We don't start with what platform are we going to use. We don't start with what month are we going to fundraise. We start with why are we going to fundraise. Now, the leader of the organization, in my opinion, the band director or the chorus director or the orchestra director, the person who is there on campus and their job is to motivate children, the leader needs to have a clear vision, and they need to be able to communicate that vision of what the future of their program looks like. So they're standing in today, and they need to be able to know what their 1 year, 2 year, 5 year vision of where this program is going. And then that vision needs to drive the budget. I hate it when the budget is putting a prescription on the vision of the director. You know, the budget is putting lenses over what the director has a vision for. That's heartbreaking. What's exciting is when the director can cast a vision for the experience that his students or her students need to have, and then we build the budget to make that vision come to life. We paint a picture that has a child and a student's lives being changed because of music. Now, once that's happened, that same teacher needs to introduce the fundraising campaign and tie that why back to the fundraising campaign. We don't fundraise just to fundraise. We fundraise to solve a problem. And the problem is we aren't yet at that vision point. We got to keep on going till we get to that vision. Paint the picture of how this fundraiser will benefit the program and the students. So you can see the diagram here. We always put the why in the middle. And then how we fundraise is going to be next. That could be, are we going to use a platform? Are we going to do it in-house and do it ourselves? Are we going to do it on paper and pencil? And then what? Are we selling poinsettias? Are we selling onions? Are we doing donation only? That's that third layer. And as Simon Sinek would say in his book, people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. All right, here comes the big secret step. And the secret step that I am excited about is step 2. If your kickoff is on a Thursday, let's just say that your kickoff, step 3, is on a Thursday. The secret step is going to start happening on Monday of that same week. Here's what you're going to need to do. Tell your fundraising consultant that the kickoff is going to be Thursday, but I need my fundraiser to be live and turned on Monday morning. Now, here's what the teacher's going to do. You use Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as the soft launch. Now, the soft launch is like this build-up, this preamble, this development of momentum that we're going to build into Thursday. The students need to start working on something called a supporters list. Now, a supporters list is when a student is going to have mom and dad help them write down the names of adults that could help with the fundraiser. I usually say these are adults that like you or adults that are supposed to like you. I'm going to put that on the screen, in fact, just so you can kind of see, and we can kind of drive that point home for a second. We're going to have the kids work to find adults that like you or are supposed to like you. This is exactly what I say to students, and this is the supporter. It's an adult that likes you or is supposed to like you. Now, they need to get that supporter's name, and it could be like what they call the person. They need to have that person's cell number and email. No matter what company you're working with, this is probably going to be something that each student is going to need to do in order to have a successful fundraiser. Now, in my experience, per quality email address, you can estimate that you will raise $20. Now, that might vary depending on your demographic and your socioeconomics of your campus. But remember, these email addresses aren't just people that live near your campus. These people are adults that know and like this child that could live anywhere in the United States. And what I have found, when it all averages out, the average is $20 per quality email address. Well, how does that play out? Well, if we take a calculator and we put it here on the screen and we do $20 times 200 email addresses, you're likely to raise $4,000. But if we put $20 times 1,000 email addresses, that campaign should end at $20,000. And if we put $20 times 4,000 email addresses, that campaign is likely to make it to $80,000. Do not underestimate or go to sleep on the importance of the students gathering those supporters prior to the launch. That's called the supporters list. Now, here's another little trick, and I kind of stayed on that last point a little too long, but the early bird. Let's talk about the early bird and what this does. So the early bird concept is between Monday and Thursday, we're going to challenge the students to raise $100. So during the early bird, we're going to dare the students to raise $100 before the kickoff. So we're going to dare the students to do whatever they can to raise $100 before Thursday. And the students that do this, they need to be rewarded and recognized for their good work. Now, if you get this done correctly, you'll have students come in on Tuesday that have already raised some money. What I would recommend is that even though the fundraiser hasn't started yet, you start giving that positive feedback to every student that raised money on Monday night. Then on Tuesday, you're going to have another group of students that have raised money and the fundraiser hasn't even started yet. And you're going to keep this up. And then Thursday, that is the day of the kickoff. Now, I do a kickoff style called a 59-minute fundraiser. If you've never seen a 59-minute fundraiser, it's really something to behold. So what we do, we get all the students in the organization in a room together. They need to have their supporters list with them, and they need to have a phone. It's really fun if you have about an hour, and then at around the 40-minute mark, the Domino's guy shows up with 15 or 20 pizzas. But you don't tell the kids that's going to happen. So what they do for the first 5 minutes is they start texting adults that they know. And the way we have them do that is by using a QR code. So here's an example of that. If you are able to see this, go ahead and scan this QR code. Now, if you scan the QR code right now on your phone, you're going to have your phone. There should be like a little rectangle, and then it should go to a pre-written text message on your phone. I'm going to get to where I can show you mine. So here we are. I got to figure out. I scanned the QR code, and it says, "Hey, Charlie, I am attending the fundraising webinar tonight online. My name is, I'm with the blank and city state. Have a great day." Now, obviously, that's not what that QR would say if we were running a fundraiser. That QR would be a message about the fundraiser. Hey, we've started a cookie dough fundraiser. Do you think you can help? And then I just have the students start blitzing that text message out to every adult that's in their phone. And we give them points on the board. They get 1 point for every 5 text messages they've sent. They get 1 point for every 5 text messages that they send out. And the band director or the teacher is going to be doing tally marks on the board, showing a tally mark for 5 text messages that are sent. That lasts for about 5 minutes, and that's our texting challenge. And that's a great way to get your fundraiser off to a quick start. And let's get back to that PDF. All right. Now, after the texting, they do register. For me, I use a platform called InstaRaise. You might be using a different platform, but we have them register on InstaRaise in my campaigns. And then when they register, they are going to be typing in the names of those adults. I could show you real quick what that registration process looks like on InstaRaise. I'll just go to a fake fundraiser real quick that I should have available. So this is just an account that I use for fundraisers that aren't real. And here's like a pretend Lucky Goat Coffee fundraiser. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger. So a pretend Lucky Goat Coffee fundraiser that maybe a student is about to sign up for. So what they would do, they would register for the fundraiser. They would type in their first name, their last name, their email, their phone number. They would pick a class or an organization that they were in. And real quick, before I do that, I'm just going to log out of this so it doesn't mess me up. And they would click on sign up. Oh, email already in use. Let's use a different email. So let's just go with this real quick and see if that works. Okay, go to login. And okay. So this is what it would look like if they're going to register for a fundraiser. They can add a selfie. They can adjust their fundraising goal. Maybe we're going to have them raise $500. They can personalize their message, from Charlie. They can do that. They can start adding their contacts. Now, here I have some different contacts. I'm going to take out that one, but here's Uncle Charlie, and maybe you have Nana. Maybe you'd have Nana, and we would get Nana's phone number in there, and we would get Nana's email. I'm just going to use my email just because I have it memorized. And so we keep on adding those 20 quality contacts, okay? And apparently it's not going to let me duplicate, so that's okay, no problem. Let me just stop doing that. All right, so they add contacts right here in this example. I've only added one. The students, we'd want them to add, 15, 20, 10, whatever you've required for them. Then there's a place where they can do texting. Now, if you aren't doing texting in your fundraising, we're leaving money on the table. So this is what it looks like when we're doing the texting. Now, with InstaRaise, there's some interesting things we can do. If they press this blue button, it does switch to their texting app right away. As soon as they press that blue button, it is going to switch to their texting app. And then they just have to hit send. I'm not on a phone right now, so it's going to try to go to my texting app, and then it's going to ask me, did I send the text? And I'm going to pretend that I did. Great. Keep going. Now, if I have family that speaks Spanish, I could turn on the Spanish messaging option with InstaRaise, and then that phone number, I would be able to send that donor a text in Spanish instead of it being in English if you need to have other languages. If we want to do auto texting, we can enroll Uncle Charlie's phone number in auto texting, and that donor will receive automatic text messages. So that's another option too. And then the child just press next, and then they get to their dashboard. On the dashboard, they're able to see the leaderboard. Now, in this campaign, it's not a real campaign, so there's not much to see on the leaderboard, but just wanted you to see that. If I get to a little different screen, I can show you what it looks like on a live campaign as opposed to that fake one. So let's do that real quick. While I'm taking a second to do this, if you are able to leave a comment, I saw, I had Jessica that let me know that she's with the Lakeland band. Can you let me know where you are, what program you might be with? And what we'll do is we will use this Lucky Goat Coffee. We'll do a little infomercial real quick while I work on this other task. Let's just take a little breather here. So we're going to take this Lucky Goat Coffee. We can do the grounds, or we can do the K-Cups if we prefer K-Cups. And we're going to stick this in the UPS to somebody that we select that's here on the webinar tonight. But I got to know who you are and I got to know where you are. So drop that into the comments, whatever platform you're on, and let us know if you can about where you are. Now, if you're on my little website, I don't really see a place to comment there. So that might be a problem. Actually, I take that back. If you're streaming online, if you touch the screen, there's a little box, like a little speech bubble. And if you touch that, there's a place where you can type a comment. And you can type, I'm doing one right now, type a comment. And I'm just doing that just to test it. And you hit send. And then that little comment is going to come over here. And I'm able to show that little message here on the screen. Oh, I spelled comment wrong. So that's not really great, but that's okay. That I spelled that wrong, but you guys get the idea. You could leave us a comment, say hello, and we're going to be able to kind of give you a shout out here on the screen. And that would be so fun just to know where you are. And let's do that if you can think of it, just to make this a little more interactive. Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to get logged in so we can take a look at a couple live campaigns on InstaRaise. We're going to take a look at Freedom High School together right now. Oh, look at this, Crystal. Good for you. Let me say hi to Crystal. Crystal, you know, I've never met you, but I'm good friends with Tyler Odom, your fantastic band director up there in Fernandina Beach. Shout out to the Marching Pirate Band and Mr. Odom and family and friends in Nassau County, Florida. So glad you joined us and said hello to us tonight. And if nobody else comments, then look at you. Then that's coming your way. How exciting that would be. And if you haven't had Lucky Goat, it is in the town center in St. Johns County near Gate Parkway. You can get down there as well. So we're going to look at Freedom High School Band right now. And I'm going to share this here in a moment. So Freedom High School Band. And let's get this up on the screen so we can kind of see what's happening. So this is the dashboard for the band director at Freedom High School. This is the InstaRaise dashboard. It's a large band program led by Dr. Antman in Orlando. But he can see from a distance how many students have signed in, how many email addresses they've provided, and what's happening in his fundraiser. What's neat for the students is that they have a leaderboard that they can see. They can see which students are leading the way in this campaign. And so that's motivating, and they can see a little countdown there. And there's even a little banner of names and recent donations that shows up. Now, some other things that are interesting, and I'm going to get out of that phone mode for a second. I want to show you what their campaign looked like, or looks like. It's still going. Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. Let's get out of that. If I come over here, we can drop my picture out. There we go. Now, check this out. This was a little different idea that I came up with for the Freedom High School Band fundraiser. We took the letters of the word freedom and we put them on the page as donation buttons. Each letter of the word freedom we marked as being worth $50. And then after that, we had regular donation buttons. Now, the way this works, every student in the band gets to have their own page. So I'm just going to find a student that's raised a little bit of money, and we're going to kind of pick one at random to see if they have some of these letters covered. So this is Daniela. Daniela uploaded a selfie. Great job, Daniela. And there, Daniela had one letter covered by someone named Victor, which is kind of cool that that person was able to sponsor that one letter. Let's see if we can find a student that has a few more letters than that. Let's see. Maybe we'll try this one. And we'll go to the page. Great. So this student has 4 out of the 7 letters sponsored. So the 7 letters are unique to each child's page. So if the child has all 7 letters sponsored, then that child has raised $350 towards the fundraising goal. Now, this same band program using this same platform has done other fundraisers. For example, the same band actually did a poinsettia fundraiser. And let me show you what that page looked like. It looks very similar, except the banner is more Christmas themed. And as we come down, instead of donation buttons, now we have poinsettias. And then after the poinsettias, we have the donations. And so this same program, the same piece of software is helping the Freedom Band fundraise in different ways. Now, what's interesting is that look at all these campaigns that are happening on InstaRaise at Freedom High School. You have the band, you have the guard, you have the percussion, you have the band poinsettias, you have the chorus doing a November calendar fundraiser. Let's take a look at the chorus doing a November calendar fundraiser. Well, there's nothing here. So that means we need to go to a students page and see what was happening on a students page. And you'll be able to see that the students had a calendar and people were able to select a day on the calendar to reserve and make a donation for. So using the same platform to do a calendar fundraiser, and then the theater department and the chorus again, and the band again. So the whole department is using this InstaRaise platform. My favorite one to show is this is going to blow your mind on InstaRaise. This is in Brevard County. So a shout out to Dan Lee and Natalie Hart. Central Middle School in Brevard County raising $53,000. You won't believe it, on selling onions. We had a 5-pound bag and a 10-pound bag, and we were selling onions. But after the onions, we also had donations. Now, don't run out and sign up for an onion fundraiser. That's not why I showed you that. Let me get logged back in. The truth is that most people on that campaign did not buy onions. Most people on that campaign gave a donation. And I can even show you what that ended up looking like. So the way that actually turned out is that 834 bags of onions were sold, and over 1,000 donations came in. And if you look at what they were earning for their profit, just look at it. So they were at 96.5% profit on their donations, and they were at 90% profit on their onions. And so I just want to make sure you know that we are able to do some creative things with pricing. And so instead of charging them, an 80-20 split, which is what you'll see a lot of times, we actually just charge them a flat rate. We charged them $54.99, and we didn't charge them 20%. We charged them $54.99. And because of that, they were able to use this software again, and we didn't charge them anything the second time they used their software. So after this campaign, they were able to fundraise for free, and they took advantage of that. In fact, they took advantage of that offer, and their next fundraiser, which they did not have to pay for because of that $54.99, they raised $14,000, and they didn't pay a penny for that fundraiser. So just knowing that we do have some creative ways that we can help you with pricing. I can go over that later in a one-on-one phone call. All right, that's InstaRaise. It does quite a bit. Just want to make sure you saw that today. Let's pop back into the PDF, which I need to find here. Here's the PDF. Where did they go? So all of that was a little bit of a tangent. So this is a good segue because I just touched on it. So what is this flat rate that I was talking about? Well, it's called InstaRaise Premium. You keep 100% of what you raise minus the cost of a subscription. Now, the subscription, like I showed you a second ago, if you're a music department, is $5,500. If you're a principal, the subscription for the principal is $8,000. Now, that could have a little bit of sticker shock, but let's think about it for a second. If you're going to raise $100,000 for a Chicago trip, well, $5,500 is only 5.5% of $100,000. So instead of charging 80-20 split, which is so common in donation fundraising, we just do that flat $5,500 for a music department. And then you can fundraise all you want for an entire calendar year. You can run all the fundraisers you want, and you keep 100% of the profit minus that subscription. Now, you do get a little bonus on your products if you choose that option. Now, this is a fit if you're raising $35,000 or more on an annual basis. I even want to dare you to consider moving your fair share payments over to this process and allow your band director and your band parents to stop touching money and to let the software do the work for you. Use InstaRaise to handle all fundraising throughout the year for all groups in your department or all groups in your school. I'd even dare you to let this handle your fair share payments if you can process how that saves you time. Receive ongoing support from me, your professional rep, to help you set up and maximize your profits. One platform, one vendor, and the students register and they use the same platform for all fundraising until they graduate. Now, when it is time to use products, we do have all of these great products on the platform, like the popcorn, for example. Let me show you what's happening and going on with the popcorn. So, Pop and Pop popcorn. This is the first and most recommended choice for fundraising. Pop and Pop popcorn is going to be shipped to home, okay? Shipped to home so that your popcorn never shows up at the school. This is a great example, and just because it's here, this is a gallon-sized bag of, this is the cheesy cheddar, and this is what I call like bougie popcorn. So you got the cheesy cheddar that is so good that you could eat the whole bag if you don't get up fast enough from this thing. So we also have the white cheddar. Now, and there's 17 or so other bags like this. They're available for your Poppin' Popcorn fundraiser. Now, on that, you get 40% profit or 50% profit if you're using the premium program. Now, the gift catalog, I don't have anything that's gift-oriented right here to show you, although I do have, this is not new by any means, but we do have Yankee Candle. So just pardon that this is not a new candle. But the Yankee Candle fundraising is a great gift catalog option for you. Now, I will say that Yankee Candle is not going to be on the InstaRaise platform. It's on a different platform. But that Yankee Candle might be a great fit for your organization. And guess what? The Yankee Candle is shipped to home. You're never going to have to deal with those glass containers. They're going to go straight to the donor's house. Now, what kinds of other stuff will you find in these gift catalogs? You're going to find wrapping paper. You're going to find kitchen gadgets. You're going to find tags for the presents that you give out at Christmas. You're going to find sometimes the Yankee Candle catalog has like bulbs and flowers, which I thought was interesting. You're going to find some tumblers sometimes in those catalogs. You're going to find sweets like chocolate and gummy bears and some like chocolate covered things inside these catalogs. It's a gift catalog. It's a great option. 40% profit, but it's a really great option. Now, the custom tumblers. So the custom tumblers come from a company called Fusion. They're stainless steel. You can have your logo on 4 different designs. You can have up to 4 designs. There's no minimum on those custom tumblers. These are, again, shipped to home. And you also have NCAA teams. You also have NHL teams. It's a great option. The coffee. I'm a fan of the coffee. I can't get over it. Lucky Goat Coffee, people. Lucky Goat Coffee is going to be the choice for you, in my opinion. Hop onto the Lucky Goat Coffee fundraiser. You're going to have a great experience in the mornings when you've done the Lucky Goat Coffee fundraiser. They have the bags, and they also have the K-Cups available. This is a 36 carton. That is not how many come in the fundraising packet, but that's what they sent me for showing. And again, if you leave us a comment of where you are so far, I have Crystal has left a comment, and I have Jessica has left a comment. So we have 2 people that are battling it out for the Lucky Goat coffee. If you're on the call tonight, make sure you just let us know. Figure out on your screen how to leave us a comment. If you'll tap on your screen, it's right there. There's a speech bubble. You can leave us a comment and be in the running for us to ship you a bag of the Lucky Goat coffee. Don't miss out. That is going to be at 35% profit. You're going to make about $6 a bag towards your fundraising goal. There's the Yankee Candle. I kind of teased on that a little bit ago. Let's see. Bundt cakes. Bundt cakes came out about 2 years ago, shipped to home. Great option if you like dessert fundraisers, but you don't want to deal with the cookie dough and the cheesecakes anymore. So another great option. And then apparel. We're going to cover that in just a second. I love helping groups with their apparel fundraisers. It's a great way to go to have your brand also help you have revenue. Speaking of, I do have a new program that I am piloting. For every dollar that you spend on apparel, all right, for every dollar that you spend on apparel, I'm going to take a portion of that dollar and give you a credit towards your fundraiser. So the way that's going to work out, if you spend $1,000 on apparel, I'm going to take $150 off of your fundraising invoice. If you spend $2,000 on apparel, I'm going to take $300 off your fundraising invoices. If you spend, let's say you spend 10 grand on apparel, then I'm going to take $1,500 off your fundraising invoice. Let's say that the whole department spends $20,000 on apparel. Well, that $5,500 subscription is going to go from $5,500 to $2,500. I'm going to give that department a $3,000 credit toward that subscription. So a portion of what you spend on apparel with C. Rankin Enterprises, with Charlie and Florida Fundraiser, is going to be put to work to help you pay off your fundraising invoice. I just want to make sure I covered that. These are other little ideas. The poinsettias, personally, I haven't seen it be a huge moneymaker, but it's another way to get that donation button out there again. And if people want a poinsettia, that's fine. If you like to do the $1 chocolate bars, I can help you. I have some ideas of some other ways to make money besides, 40 cents at a time. But I have pretzel rods. I have gummy bears. I have bags of popcorn. I have chocolate bars. We have lots of ways to help you if you do like that $1 option. I really believe, folks, if you would put your fair share payment in my hands, and I know that sounds just like a bad idea, I believe, depending on how much you're charging, I can help you raise more money than you would if mom and dad just write a check. The math on that is not that complicated. If you're charging $1,000 for fair share, my strategy won't work for you. But if you're charging a reasonable amount for fair share, my strategy to put it on a platform could double your money. A student that asks people correctly can fundraise more than what mom or dad would write a check for. And here's the way I would look at it. Let every aunt and uncle and person you've ever known take care of as much of that fair share as you can. And maybe by accident, after all those aunts and uncles contribute to the fair share, maybe there's still a balance. Let's say it's $70. So now mom and dad, they just pay the $70, and all of those aunts and uncles through the platform took care of fundraising the other $200 or $300. It's really a way to leverage fundraising. If you want to do your concert tickets on the platform, we can do that. If you want to have a tournament or a golf tournament, we can do that. If you want to do a pancake breakfast or a barbecue dinner or a plated dinner, we can help you sell those tickets and take care of all the Excel files, so nobody on your team is having to become an Excel wizard. You just let Charlie take care of all the Excel. All right. Whew, that's a lot. Oh, let's see what's happening on the comments. No new comments yet. You guys are breaking my heart. You guys got to say hello, Charlie, here on the comments. All right, let's move on. Now, the apparel solutions. So online bulk orders. What am I talking about with an online bulk order? Well, when I was a band director, bulk orders weren't online. I had to ask every child what size they needed, and I had to collect the payments and turn those in with something called a monies collected form. Well, an online bulk order, we're going to help you with your art. We're going to help you with design if you need that help. And then we help you pick out the garments that you want. We have every garment you can imagine. If it's being sold in schools, we have access to it. We have top brands like Nike and Adidas and Under Armour, and we have not so top brands, but we have all the brands that make sense for school apparel. We have youth sizes, we have adult sizes, and we find the right garment. And then we can do embroidery, we can do screen printing, we can do direct to film, whatever the technique is, we can match it. We help use an online platform to collect all your sizes, and we can also collect all your payments. And then some of the items, if you want to, can be marked as required. Excuse me. Now, that's a great way to let students know, well, I have to have this item or I have to have that item. And it just lets the students and the families know what's required. Now, while they're online buying their required items, it's a really good idea to have them also then maybe buy some items that aren't required. Here's a pretty good example of an online store where we helped recently. This is a dynamite band program in Alachua County, Florida. And this is called Kanapaha Middle School. And so here at Kanapaha, we had a North Carolina field trip that was going to happen. And the students going to North Carolina had to have one of these hoodies. It was required for the North Carolina trip. But everything else on the store was optional. All of these other items were optional, weren't required. They were things that they could choose to have. We even did stickers. This band director and the assistant band director, they were so creative. There's Mike Lafredo. They could do stickers, seat cushions, car magnets. And then we decided with the stickers to do like a little sticker pack. So we did a sticker pack if they wanted a bundle of the stickers. And these stickers sold like crazy. So getting real creative, doing some neat things with apparel stores. That was one for Kanapaha Middle School. We did another one. Let's see which one this is. This is going to be for a school in Daytona, Florida called Spruce Creek High School. Now here we have a band member pack where these are items that the band director wanted their members to have, and we're selling them as a package. And then we have the color guard package. And then we have all of those items again, but just broken out and not in a package. This is a great way for us to help you with your bulk orders. You can also do these bulk orders offline, where you just send us the information and we don't use the website if that's more your speed. So many options: screen printing, embroidery, sublimation. It makes me think about showing you a project I'm working on right now that is for a principal in Las Vegas. This little project is one that I'm proud of. I'm just going to show you a mock-up of the product that we're working on for a school in Las Vegas. So let's see if I can just make this bigger and bring it over here. So we're doing a Hawaiian shirt. And these are 3 designs that we made up for the principal for her to pick from. So we had design 1 of a Hawaiian shirt. And then we had design 2 of a Hawaiian shirt. And then we had design 3 of a Hawaiian shirt for this principal in Las Vegas. And truth be told is she really didn't like any of those. And she asked me if we could have another design. And so, of course, yes, ma'am, if you'd like another design, we'll make up another design. And so we sent this design to her today. And this is the one that she's going to go with. And she wanted it to be just the repeating pattern of that bear over and over and over again, but on a nice polyester Hawaiian shirt. So, opportunities to do something a little bit off the shelf, a little more creative, we can do that as well. And then fulfillment, we can do ship to school in bulk. We can do ship to school, but packed by child. We could do ship to home. And we could also do a blend of those where it's ship to school and ship to home. So we're trying to really position this in a great spot. Now, we're going to take a little tangent here. I'm going to get rid of the PDF. That's my little PDF. I wanted to play a song for you guys. So we're going to kind of check this out. Now, Igloo coolers. This is something I'm excited about. Let's see if this, we're going to go ahead and let this play. Igloo coolers. Let's rewind this. Hopefully it'll play.
Summer band camp's coming and you know it's hot. You'll need a
all right. I'm lowering the volume down. Igloo coolers are a great option for fundraising. And I'm going to show you a few things that we can do on Igloo coolers. So as we listen to the Igloo cooler jingle, I'm going to pull up my Igloo cooler information. So Igloo, these are available. We have the half gallon in these colors listed here. So Igloo coolers, I partnered with them. I do have 600 charcoal coolers that aren't sold yet. Crystal, thank you so much for your comment. You're the comment champion tonight, Crystal. Comment champion. Thank you. I just thought this song was super cute. All right, that's probably enough on the Igloo cooler song. All right. Funny enough, I used AI to help me make that song. It blew my mind. All right, let's talk about another solution that we just came up with. We're going to go to a website called bandoshoes.com. Now, I'll drop that here on the website. Now, I don't want you to go shop at bandoshoes.com just yet. I want you to shop through me, but this is the catalog that I wanted you to see. I now represent Bando Shoes, and anything that this gentleman has here on his store, I'm a rep for him. He is out of Thomasville, Georgia, and met him last week, and we worked out an arrangement for me to become a rep for Bando Shoes. Now, what in the world does that mean? Well, let's look at the marching shoes for a second. Okay, so marching shoes. We have the Bando classic shoe. Couple different brands from Bando. We have the Dinkles Edge marching shoe. We have the Dinkle Formals, the Dinkles Glide, the Dinkles Vanguard. We have the DSI Crossover, the DSI Marching Band MTX, the DSI Velocity. And then on the second page, we have the DSI Viper and the Style Plus. All of that just in the shoe category. Then when we get into gloves, we have your cotton wrist length where you can order 12 pairs in a bundle, some sort of an EverDry, looks like maybe a guard glove. Then we have the half finger nylon, all kinds of different gloves here. This is the second page of the gloves that we can help you with. If you are using boots like this, we can help you with the boots, a brand of Frontline shoes, a few different, these look like more dance shoes. We have these available. Something I noticed is we have bibbers available. All this could be helpful to your program. It's all available to you through Crystal. You're killing it with the comments. Crystal, maybe you can help me have a chance to become your shoe rep. that would be amazing. You're gonna end up with all the coffee, Crystal. Good for you. Um, this gentleman was so nice in Thomasville, Georgia. He said he has all of this in stock. It ships out the next day. If you're in my part of the country, you'll probably have it the day after that in your band room. Free shipping with orders of 200. Free shipping with orders of 200. Guys, we're coming to a close, but I'm going to give you the secret of my fundraising. And it's here on a slide a little further down. Successful fundraising happens because of a process, not because of the price of the fundraiser, and not because of the product. Successful fundraising is about a process, not a product, and honestly, not a price. I've given some fundraisers away where I didn't charge anything, and the fundraiser fell completely flat. I have charged up to 50% on a fundraiser, and the teacher made more money than they ever made before. That's not what motivates a child to participate in a fundraiser. So here's the thing. Asking is what you need me to help you solve. You don't need me to help you find a better product. You need me to work on coming up with better ways to motivate your students to ask. So the problem that is the real problem in fundraising is not a product problem. It's the asking problem. We are going to help you solve the asking problem. When you solve that, you'll fundraise more than you ever have before. Now, the way you solve the asking problem is by rewarding the students for asking. So instead of rewarding them for raising money, you reward them for asking, because what's rewarded is repeated. Now, how do you reward them for asking? Well, then you can use creative ways to reward them for asking. This was where they got to be first in line at the hospitality dinner. This was they got a gift card to Elevate. This was they got a catered lunch. This was they had a VIP pass. This was a small little thank you where they got a friendship bracelet, kind of like a Taylor Swift style friendship bracelet. This was a bag of candy they received for having their supporters list. There's different ways that you can reward students for asking. And I've even come up with some non-cost or like no cost or low cost ways to reward students for asking. This was something I came up with, and I'm working on developing this a little further. And it's focusing on celebrating how much you asked in an hour. Did you ask enough to raise 100? Ask enough to raise 250? Or maybe you became the MVP asker of the fundraiser. But the number of asks per day was the key. Not the number of dollars raised, but the number of asks per day. Another way to do that is with another little trick where I've made a bingo card to show students about asking. And this will be the last thing that I'll show. This was an idea that we've used before just to help the students think a little differently about who they're asking. So grandma and grandpa, and then these boxes represent asking 5 times. An uncle, an aunt, a neighbor, a family friend. And they mark these boxes off as they ask. If that person donates, then they get credit for that whole box. And this was an idea to help the students think about who are they going to ask to support their fundraiser. So it's a little bit of a bingo card to help them think about who might help with the fundraiser. All right. I'm going to need to sign off. Crystal, you gave the most comments this evening. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate that. Crystal, I'm going to put my number back up. If you I'm following you on that. I want to, Tyler knows the Rankins, and I was actually his professor when he went to UNF. I'm trying to get my mouse cursor on the right screen. All right. If you'll send me a note, if you want more support in fundraising, reach out. I did this webinar not because someone is paying me to do it. I'm doing this because I want to be helpful to the industry. I'm a band parent. My son will be a freshman at Tocoi High School in St. Johns County. I'm a former band director who is working to make the lives of current band directors lighter, and that's what I want to do. Thanks for joining us. If you did hop on tonight, have a great season, great summer. Let us know how we can support you here with our small fundraising business. Jessica, I totally understand. You're looking for that chair. Charlie Rankin will be happy to be your fundraising chair, and you don't. I'd be so blessed to do that. Yeah, I'll be there. Crystal. I'll be at Tocoi, and I'll be at a couple other ones. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Best of luck to everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight, and have a great night.